There's a lot of grass.
Okay. Is it a bed of grass?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. And as you look around in all directions, what other things do you see around you?
animals.
And what kind of animals are there? Are they like farm animals or jungle animals?
Like cats.
Oh, wow. And where are you in relation to this grass and these animals?
I'm standing on the grass like the animals, but they're not looking at me.
Okay. And I want you to tap into your emotions and tell me, how do you feel to be standing in this place?
I feel like I want to cry.
Say that again.
I feel like I want to cry.
Okay. So I want you to just take a couple breaths. And I want you to let that emotion speak to you and tell me, why do you feel like crying in this place?
I feel left behind.
Just breathe through it. It's okay. And why do you feel like that?
They're walking away from me.
And who is it that's walking away?
Their family.
Okay. It's totally normal to feel these emotions. It's a pretty sad day. So for a minute, we're going to switch gears and we just want to get a sense of what you look like in this life. So if you look down at your feet, tell me, what do you see?
They're just bare,
Hmm.
like earthy.
Okay. And as you move up your body, what does the rest of you look like?
Just like thin,
Hmm.
and I kind of feel like a boy.
Hmm. And about how old do you feel?
But
Wow, so really young. And what kinds of clothes are you wearing?
um, they're keeping me warm, but they're like kind of ripped.
Yeah. So good clothes, but a little worn.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And so your family is leaving you behind. Did they leave you with anything?
no.
And tell me about your family. Who's in your family?
I feel like my family, just like a big family, two parents, five siblings.
Wow. And are they all older than you, your siblings?
No, there's a baby.
Okay. And I'm curious why they would leave you behind.
I just felt they forgot about me.
And I'm curious why you don't run after them. Remember to breathe. Doing a really great job.
I don't feel like it would matter.
Do they tend to forget about you a lot or not really pay attention
Yeah.
to you? Yeah. Okay, you did a really beautiful job. So what we're going to do is we're going to move you forward through time and space to the next important day in the life of this boy. There's nothing that you need to do. Just kind of let your consciousness drift forward through time and space as we look for the next important day. And when you arrive at this next important day, tell me what happens next. What do you find him doing?
Like, uh, almost like the graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy, but I'm alone.
And so who else is there with you?
Just a crowd of other people.
Yeah. And what kind of graduation is it?
School.
Yeah. So tell me what you do next now that you graduated.
Just on the stage looking at everybody cheering. And I have a black cap and gown
Mhm.
in it. As I'm looking at everybody, it's like a bittersweet feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anyone in the crowd cheering for you besides your friends?
Yeah, there's one person.
And who is that person? Tell me about them.
So it's like a significant other.
Okay.
And it feels very pure.
Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with them. What do you love most about them?
They're very kind and they push me in the ways I need to be pushed.
And are they a boy or a girl?
The girl,
Okay. So I'm curious if you can think back through your memories after your family left. What did you do next? Where do you live now?
feels like there's a gap in time.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, don't even worry about it. Okay, so you're on stage, you just received a diploma, and then you leave the stage. And tell me what happens next.
I meet with the person in the crowd
Mm-hmm.
and give her a hug.
Yeah. And tap into your emotions. What are you feeling right now?
Grateful
Tell me why. Remember to take your time to breathe. You did a really great job. Best way to deal with these
because
emotions.
I have somebody to support me.
Yeah. It's got to be an amazing feeling, huh?
It is.
Yeah. I want you to take a minute and use your breath to really let yourself soak in this feeling, what it feels like to be loved so unconditionally, to be supported, Know that this person has your best interest at heart and wants to see you succeed. It's a really powerful feeling, and not everybody gets to experience it. We'll take a couple deep breaths to really seal that experience in your memory. I have a feeling we'll need it in this lifetime. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move forward to the next important day. You're a pro by now, so let your consciousness drift forward to time and space. And just like before, when we arrive at this next important day, tell me, what do you find him doing?
I don't know where it is, but there's like cards in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like crouching down, and it's almost like just like all earthy around. It's almost like a village.
And do you feel like the same person?
No,
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to take a minute and just let yourself settle into the second life. Doing a really great job. And just like before, I want to tap into your emotions. How do you feel to be crouching down in this space?
I feel I don't have much materialistic, but I have a lot inside.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's get a sense of what you look like in this life, just like before. Start with your feet. Tell me what you see.
They're kind of wrinkly,
Uh-huh.
but firm,
Beautiful. And as you move up your body, what kind of clothes are you wearing?
very loose fitting, like scarves and almost like a shawl.
Okay. And does this body feel male or female?
He said, does it feel new?
Male or female?
Female.
Okay. And about how old do you feel?
Mm, I feel like 86 keeps coming up, but I don't feel that old.
So I want to try something new. I want you to just pause the scene and I want you to kind of float your consciousness out of that body about 2 or 3 feet away and then turn around so you're facing yourself and tell me what you look like.
And I look like my grandmother.
Hmm.
Um, a little bit like heavier set,
Hmm.
really pretty hair, but it's like kind of shoulder length.
Hmm.
It's like very welcoming.
Wow, beautiful. And I'm curious what ethnicity she is or what race.
feel like Middle Eastern.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to go ahead and float yourself back into that body. Just use your breath to reintegrate with that body so that you can feel like she feels, just like before. And so I'm curious what she does next.
There's like a fire in front,
Uh-huh.
and she's feeding,
So she's taking care of the fire.
keep everything warm.
Yeah. And is there anyone there with her, or is it just her by herself?
People like circling around, and it seems like they're kind of in despair.
Okay. And I want to get a sense of the community that she lives in. Is it more like a village, like an old style village?
Yeah,
And what is her role in this community? What do people come to her for?
they come to her for guidance
Hmm.
and healing.
Yeah, okay, beautiful. So we're going to leave this scene behind and we look for the next important day in the life of this woman. And when you arrive at this next important day, tell me what happens next.
She's dying in like a hospital bed.
Okay. So what is she dying of? Is it just old age or is there something wrong?
I feel like it's old age.
And I'm curious, how does she feel to be at the end of her life?
She feels peaceful,
Yeah.
and she's not scared.
Wow, that's awesome. Is there anyone there with her, like the family or anybody like that?
There's a lot of people there,
Wow,
and they're all really sad,
wow,
but she's not worried.
wow. So this is a different kind of support, right?
Yeah,
Completely different. So much love and so much support from all these people that you've helped through this lifetime. So I want you to, again, really let yourself soak in this feeling of being respected, of being honored, of being loved, all the way through your life until the end. And then when you're ready, I want you to take a deep breath, the last breath of this life, and just drift away from that life back into the darkness where all the possibilities of the universe exist. And from here, we're going to take a look at both of those lifetimes. So look at the first one first, the life of the boy who was pretty much abandoned by his family. And from this perspective, you can see his life in front of you like a timeline, like an overview. And from this perspective, tell me, what do you think the purpose of that life was?
independent,
Hmm.
and strength.
Yeah. Yeah. And what lesson do you think you learned by living that life on a soul level?
I think you learned what unconditional love feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad he was able to find it so early too. We should all be so lucky to find that in school, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I want you to picture his girlfriend in front of you. And I want you to look deep into her eyes, feel her energy, and tell me, who does she remind you of in your current life as a mortgage? She seem familiar to you?
Doesn't remind me of anybody fully.
Okay, perfect. And now I'm curious about his family. Does he span his parents and your siblings? Who do they remind you of? Anybody?
They kind of remind me of myself.
Huh. Tell me more.
I feel like I could leave myself behind.
Hmm. Very interesting take, and we'll definitely get into that a little bit later when we contact your spiritual team. And now I want to shift your focus to the second life that we saw with the woman. And just like with the first one, you can see her whole life in front of you, like an overview, the timeline. And tell me, what do you think the purpose of that life was?
To heal.
Tell me more.
I think she came in to heal the people around her
Yeah,
and brought a great feeling within.
yeah, makes so much sense. And what lessons do you think you learned on a soul level?
Unity.
Yeah, wow. All the way to the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I want you to, just like before, do a scan of the people that you share that life with and let me know if anybody stands out as recognizable.
I feel like that same girl was there again.
Say that one more time.
The same girl from the first
Huh,
one with the blue.
interesting. And who was she in this lifetime to you?
It's not romantic, but it's the same feeling.
Wow, beautiful. And if you keep scanning, is there anyone else?
There's like two kids, but a little boy,
Hmm.
and he's very precious to her.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to drift away from that life and the first life completely. Let yourself just drift back into that darkness, all the possibilities of the universe exist. And from this perspective, we're going to travel into the last life. There's one more life that we're here to see today. So just like before, there's nothing that you need to do. Just let your consciousness drift as we call forward this last life that we're here to see today. And just like before, tell me, what is the first thing that you see?
I'm flying in an airplane.
You're flying.
Yeah,
Wow. How cool. That must be an amazing feeling.
it is.
And tell me how you're flying.
I'm like I'm like in a one person plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really sunny out.
Wow. That's so cool. So let's get a sense of your body in this lifetime. Are you male or are you female?
I think I'm a male.
Okay. So give it a couple seconds to just feel into that. Does that feel right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. And about how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. 30. And what nationality or race are you?
Mm, I'm not sure, but I have like dark hair,
Mm-hmm.
like the fair to olive skin tone.
Okay, cool. And let's check in with your emotions. How do you feel to be flying this plane?
I feel like extremely happy.
Wow, so cool. And tell me why you're flying or where you're going. What are you up to?
Feels like it's a hobby.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you have a plane and you like to fly it for fun. That's so cool. Very cool. And when you're not flying your plane, what kinds of things are you doing? What do you do for work?
I feel like a businessman, but I don't know exactly for what.
Okay. Whatever you do, you're doing a pretty damn good job at it because you fly planes for fun. Very cool. Okay, so I want to skip ahead to the next important day in the life of this man and tell me what he does next.
It's another hospital, and one of his parents are dying.
Mm. Take a minute to really let yourself settle in this next day and tell me which parent is it that's in the hospital.
It's bad.
And check in with his emotions. How does he feel?
He feels devastated, but it's like blocked.
So he's aware that he's fucked up basically, but he's not letting himself feel the full force of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Who else is there with him at the hospital and his dad?
His mom. That's it.
And I'm curious why his dad is in the hospital. Did something happen or is this old age?
It's like his dad had a heart attack.
So kind of out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want him to. I'm curious, like, what conversation he has with his dad. Is his dad awake?
No, his dad's not awake.
Okay. So I'm curious if he
He's
has a
just
conversation with him or with his mother.
he's just looking at his dad and holding his face, and he wants to cry, but there's something that's preventing him.
Yeah.
And his mom is just looking at him.
So let's leave this scene behind and move forward to the next important day. And tell me what happens next.
The next day is his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels very broken.
Tell me about his relationship with his dad.
His dad was like the one person he could really count on.
Wow.
He was a really great man, and he looked at him for a lot of guidance.
Yeah. There's a feeling of he's on his own now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move forward one more time and tell me what you find him doing.
As a baby,
Hmm.
a baby girl, and he looks at her and he's crying.
He cried.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if you can feel for that block that you felt before. Is it still there? Or is this what clears it?
Yeah. I think it's clean.
I want you to feel into the emotion that he's feeling right now and tell me what he's thinking. What is he feeling as he holds this baby girl?
He's thanking his dad, and he just feels incredibly happy and full of love.
Yeah,
But he wishes he could share it with his dad in the physical sense too.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I want you to move forward through the rest of his life, all the way to the last day of his life. And tell me what stands out to you. What do you see?
Daughter.
Tell me about her.
She's the same person from before.
Oh, wow.
And he loves her very much.
Hmm.
They're both sad, but there's a sense of knowing that this still be together.
Yeah. Really beautiful, man. I want you to travel to the last day in the life of this man. Tell me, where do you find him on this last day?
He's just laying in grass.
Dying in grass?
Yeah,
So he's outside.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and take the last breath of this life. Leave that body behind. You're going to, just like before, drift into that darkness where all possibilities of the universe exist. And from this perspective, you can look back on that life in its entirety, like a timeline. And tell me, what do you think the purpose of that life was?
Family.
Yeah.
Um, some part of it is enjoyment.
Part of it was what?
Enjoyment.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
And also love.
yeah. It was a pretty balanced life, if you
Yeah.
look at it. You had pretty much everything that you want to have as a person. Okay, so what do you think the lesson that you learned on a soul level by living that life was?
I think it's partially peace.
Hmm.
Um, persistence.
Yeah. And also that everything turns out to be okay.
I'm sorry.
Everything seemed to turn out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's run through the people that you shared that life with. Um, let's do his parents. Do they seem familiar to you in your current life with Morgan?
The dad feels like my mom.
Okay. And what about his mom in that life? She seem familiar?
You know.
And what about his wife, the mother of his child?
I think in that life they loved each other really a lot. Um, but it feels more friendly
Yeah.
and not as significant as the daughter.
So a good relationship, but not as deep of a connection as with his daughter.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. You did a really beautiful job with those past lives. So now what we're going to do is we're going to call forward a member of your spiritual team. But first, I want you to find your way back to that beautiful place, that beach with the clear blue water and the palm trees. find your way back there and let me know when you've made it back.
I'm back.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to explore this place, looking for a building or a structure. You'll know it when you see it, and it will look like it fits right in, like a natural part of the landscape. Take your time and explore this beach, and let me know when you found it.
It's like a cave.
Yeah, that would make perfect sense. I want you to head over to that cave and go inside. Tell me what it looks like on the inside.
It's dark.
Yeah. So I want you to look around. There's going to be like a torch or a lamp, some source of light that you can use in here. Maybe there's materials to build a fire. Look around and you'll find it in there.
There's a torch.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and take that torch. You can hold it up high so you can see in front of you. And I want you to go inside and explore that cave and find a comfortable place to hang out and sit down and take your time.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to put the torch down in front of you where it can burn freely. And then you can seat yourself with your legs crossed and just hang out here while I invite in the first member of your spiritual team to join us. I'm calling in the first member of Morgan's spiritual team to join us in this safe space that she's created. We have some questions that we'd like to ask. And so we invite you to join us in this space. And Morgan, there's nothing that you need to do, just kind of hang out here. And when they show up, tell me what changes. What do they look like? What do they feel like?
And I feel like there's like a tall man.
Cool. So what we'll do is we'll invite him to come and take a seat with you. And what we're going to do is I'll address him through you and you let me know what he says, okay?
Okay.
So hello and thank you for joining us today in the space that Morgan and I have created. We have some questions that we'd like to ask. Are you able to answer our questions today? What does he say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first I'd like to talk about the past lives that we saw today. First was the life of the boy who was abandoned. Can you tell us why it was important for Morgan to see that life today?
She needs to know that she's not left behind.
Hmm. And why was that important for her to know?
It can get in the way. of her progress.
Does that feeling have something to do with the anxiety that she feels?
Yes,
Can you tell me how?
she's scared.
Yeah. So, speaking with her earlier, she thinks she knows what she's scared of. But I'm curious from your perspective, what is she actually scared of? What is the core fear that she feels?
Being alone.
Yeah. And so that brings me to the girl that he dated in that lifetime, but then was also with her in every single lifetime that we saw today. Can you tell us about that person?
Something weird, and I'm just gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like kind of split in half, and half of it is my current partner,
Mm-hmm.
and the other half is a guy.
Very interesting. So let's ask your guide, what does this mean? Why does Morgan feel like it's split?
She's still learning.
You said she's still learning.
Yeah,
What is she learning?
she's learning to overcome her trauma, but at her core, she is that person.
Got it. So she felt like this energy was split between her current partner and another person. Does she know that other person? Has she met them yet?
Yeah,
So before we get into her current relationship, what does she need to know about this other person?
they'll always be there.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about her relationship with her current partner. From your perspective, what does she need to know?
It takes time.
And so on those days that are difficult, what do you want her to remember?
The unconditional love.
And in your opinion, what is your definition of unconditional love?
Acceptance,
Hmm.
peace,
Hmm.
and wholeness.
And what is your advice for Morgan on how she can accept things that are difficult to accept?
Let it flow.
Okay, that helps a lot. Okay, so then after, oh, I was told to ask, what was the significance of the cats in that first life?
Like a sense of strength, but
Hmm,
also like softness, vulnerability.
yeah. And what does that have to do with Morgan? What does she need to know?
She has these qualities.
That's a really good key image for her to remember when she's doubting herself, is that image of the cat and what it stands for. That vulnerability, that strength, that softness. Is there anything else about this first life that is important for Morgan to know before we move on to the next one?
She is light.
Hmm. I'm going to say that one more time just to really feel that. Morgan, you are light. I love that. Okay, so the next life was the life of the older woman that really was a pillar of her community. Why was it important for Morgan to see that life today?
She's a healer.
Hmm.
And to remind her of the love she has within.
Yeah, yeah. You really have to be able to connect with that feeling of love to be a healer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Morgan's been having some doubts, some fears, and anxieties around moving into a more spiritual direction with her life. Um, First, can you tell her what are her spiritual gifts? How does she heal people in this lifetime?
She can feel their energy.
Hmm.
She can help communicate through spirit.
Yeah. I'm curious what your relation is to her on a soul level. You're on her spiritual team. What do you help her with?
subsiding.
Hmm.
And to answer questions, to give acceptance.
So when she's doing readings, is she connecting with you?
Yeah.
Very cool. Is there a name that she can call you by?
Andy,
Andy. Well, very nice to meet you, Andy. So she wants to know, now that her job has ended, what are the next best steps for her?
being shown readings,
Hmm.
and it's like an image in the big picture and reading. And up in the corner is the current job.
Got it. So, because one of her questions was, should she continue to pursue 9 to 5 work, or should she dive
No,
headfirst into her spiritual practice? Your business?
spiritual practice.
Yeah. And so start by offering readings to people.
Yeah.
And you said that the current job, so the job working with the refugees shows up. Why and how? Why is it up in the corner?
This is a significant job and it does make her happy. So it will be okay either way.
So is
But
there a way?
her,
Sorry, go ahead.
her main focus should be spiritual work.
Got it. Okay, that makes so much sense. Okay, so back to that second life of the woman. What else does she need to know about that life? What's important for her to know?
She had a lot of wisdom and connected very easily.
Yeah. I'm curious if you can give her some validation, some reassurance of her intuitive knowledge, because she's been kind of second guessing herself and second guessing her gifts and her skills. And I just want you to let her know that what she's doing is real and has value and should be shared.
She embodies every vision she was shown today,
Hmm.
combining them together will allow her to reach her full potential, but she needs to let things flow.
So I really feel like the anxiety she's been experiencing is blocking her from letting things flow, because if thoughts create reality, she leads with stress and catastrophizing things. So, what can we do to heal that anxiety? How can we nip it right in the bud?
Meditation is key.
Hmm.
breathing exercises,
Hmm.
being in nature more.
Yeah. So it's okay that she's not really feeling like she wants to be around people lately.
Can you repeat that?
She said that she wants to spend time away from people. Is that something that she should do?
No.
Or she should be around more people?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So next, I want to get into the third life. Before we do that, is there anything else about that second life that she needs to know before we move on?
She said she already knows.
Morgan, do you want to state it for the record? What is it?
I think it's from before, just like harboring that love and remembering it at all times.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So next, I want to talk about the third life that she had as the successful businessman that was a dad and had a really close connection with his father. Why was it important for her to see that life today?
She needs to understand why she's so connected to her mom now.
Mm. Why does she need to understand that?
She questions it.
And why is it important for her to know that she is actually connected with her mother?
She doesn't feel that she receives the same love back that she has.
Mm. And so, what does she need to know about that dynamic between her and her mom?
The love is there, but in this lifetime, her mom struggles with showing it.
Yeah. So it would make sense why she would question it, especially if on a soul level she's felt that so much more readily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious why in this current life, what does her mom intend to learn from her on a soul level?
The mom needs to learn to put herself first.
Mm. And how is her relationship with Morgan? How does it help her to do that, to learn to do that?
She did a lot of sacrificing,
Hmm.
and now she's putting herself first.
Okay, beautiful. So in that life, when his father was passing away, and after his father died, there was a block that kept him from fully feeling his emotions. And I'm curious if that block is still affecting Morgan today.
Yes,
Can you tell us how?
she's scared to feel emotion.
And where did that come from? That fear.
It's been with her. It's something she needs to learn to overcome.
So Morgan, we're going to pause this for a minute. We're going to do a little bit of work on this fear. I feel it's also tied into the anxiety also. So if you were to give that fear a shape or a form or an image, what would it look like?
So it's like a circle with like a bunch of spikes on the outer side.
Yeah, basically, don't fucking touch
Yes.
me. Okay, beautiful. So I want you to get really close up where you can look like right at those spikes. And as you get closer and look really closely at them, what are they made of actually? Like poke at them, get really close. What are they made of?
Like paper.
Get out! That's funny. I want you to flick it with your finger. What happens when you flick one of those spikes?
It's thin.
Yeah, yeah. So I want you to back up so that the spiky ball gets smaller. You'll still be able to reach it, but as you back up, you get bigger, it gets smaller. And I want you to use both your hands and just crumple it into a ball. Make it an actual ball of paper.
Okay.
And now I want you to ask it. Ask it, look, I really appreciate you. You're here for a reason. So tell me, how were you protecting me? What were you helping me with?
Not crumbling.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. That means that there was a time in your life where you really needed to be strong like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it looks scary as hell from a distance, but when you get up close, that makes so much sense. So you're past that point, whatever point that created this fear, you're past that point, right? And so now we want to enlist the help of this energy and transform it into something that's helpful instead of something that just keeps everything away from you. So I want you to just look at that ball of paper in your hand and just let it transform into what it's actually supposed to be, the thing that serves your highest good. And as you watch it, what does it transform into?
A ball of light.
Oh my gosh, I just got chills. What color is it?
It's white.
Yeah,
It's
white light is,
glowing.
wow. White light is the most powerful light because it has all the fucking colors in it. So it's so powerful. So I want you to ask it to transform from that ball of light into an amulet, a protective amulet that you can string on a necklace around your neck. And what does it turn into?
So at first, it goes from my hand and traces around my body.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't actually go on a necklace, it goes like into my chest.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I want you to sit with that feeling for a minute. Feel that energy. You can actually see that protective force that not only is around you, but also exists inside of you. And now, when big emotions come up, not just the happy ones, right, but the really difficult negative ones, I want you to remember this light, remember this protection, and know that all those emotions are trying to do is communicate to you that something's not right, and that's healthy. It's like our body's natural response to heat is to sweat. Because if you don't, you overheat and you die. You know? Emotions are the same way. So when big emotions come up, what you're going to do from now on is you're going to take space. You're going to extricate yourself from whatever situation you're in. You're going to go into an entirely different room, space, where you can sit in this safe, protective cocoon that you've created with this light and let it speak to you and tell you what's not wrong, or what's not right, what's wrong.
Okay.
Okay? And once you know
Yeah.
what's wrong, you can fix it, you know? But you have to let them communicate with you, or else you just stuff them down and then nothing changes. you know?
Right. Yeah.
You know? But they don't have to crush you. You just need space to process, and that's completely
Mhm.
normal and healthy. Okay, beautiful. So I want you to restart that scene. We're connected with this guide. We have some more questions that we want to ask. So the first question that I want to ask is, why did Morgan choose to live the life she's currently living? Like, what does she want to learn on a soul level? What does her soul really want to accomplish this time around?
I think she wants to help others.
And now that you have the benefit of seeing the three past lives and seeing the evolution of your soul, um, in the first life, you were shown what unconditional love felt like, right?
Yeah.
In the second life, you got to offer that unconditional love to other people. And then in the third life, you got to receive and give that unconditional love, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're an expert in that energy now, you know? The reason why that ball of light was white is the reason why you're being called to all of these spiritual practices. There's a reason why the universe is like, girl, you don't need to work a 9 to 5. You need to get your start a business. This is the culmination of all of that learning. And now it's
Yeah.
literally like you have a rocket ship launch pad, like fucking go, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Morgan really wants to know how she can consciously connect with you, her guide, when she needs guidance. And I know that tarot is one way, but what are other ways?
Visual signs, um, numbers,
Hmm.
and just everything outside.
Can you tell her how many past lives she's lived on Earth?
first number that popped in was 73.
Yeah, sounds about right. Takes a while to learn how to be a human, bro. 73
Yeah.
lives sounds about right. Yeah. Okay, cool. How can she tell the difference between an intuitive message or a message from you and a thought that's based in ego or fear? What's the difference?
A message from me comes in suddenly.
Hmm.
From her, it ponders.
So with you, it's just like, this is what it is. And with her, it's like, well, it could be this, it could be that. I could think about this and make it all kinds of things. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So she really wanted to know if there's any parts of her life that have caused trauma that she's currently blocking out.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling like there's like an energy over here. It's like
Yeah,
bothering me.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So I want you to call that energy forward. We're going to swing it around from your shoulder till it's right in front of you. And maybe you use like your energy arms to actually grab it and swing it around. It also can help to like create a container for it. It's like a clear bubble and just kind of
It's
hold it
like,
in that bubble. What is it?
yeah. I don't know why it's like a lot like a tiger.
Interesting. So let's ask it. Who are you? What are you doing here? What's the message? What's going on?
Like protection.
What is it?
Protection.
Interesting. So before we move forward, I just want to ask Andy to quickly scan this energy that's saying that it's protective. And can he verify that it is actually protective?
No.
Thank you, Andy. So we're going to ask Andy to create a containment for this energy so that we can speak to it safely. And Morgan, what does he do? How does he contain this energy for us?
He's like putting like a shield around me and him.
So we're going to talk to this entity. There's things that can get attached to us and they come up in sessions like this, but they're pretty easy to deal with. So just like we spoke to Andy, or speaking to Andy, we'll be able to speak to this energy the same way. So I'm going to invite this energy to speak to us so that we can sort out how we can best help it and make sure that Morgan's safe. So you can introduce yourself honestly now. Who are you? Do you have a name?
I got like Ruth,
Okay.
but feels questionable.
Yeah, a lot is questionable because they didn't present honestly, so that's fine. So, Ruth, you claimed to be protecting Morgan. When did you first start? How long have you been with Morgan?
I'm getting 3.
Okay. And why did you first connect with her energy?
The word vulnerable popped up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we want to try to help you if we can, because I'm sure you have way better things than to be hanging out with Morgan. So tell me, what is the thing that you want the most? What do you need help with?
Feels like I can't get the word, but like just no rest.
Mm. How long have you been feeling like this?
Um, so it's like this, almost like a circle, like a globe, and I turn my head and just look.
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of pictures, almost like on a timeline.
Oh, wow. So if I'm interpreting correctly, it sounds like you've had some really difficult experiences down here on the Earth plane.
Yeah,
So I want to get you to a place where you actually can rest and go back through these experiences to see what lessons you learned. You can come back from a stronger position and don't have to use someone else's energy to make do, basically. How does that sound?
good.
All right. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you focus on your energy. So I need you to first disconnect all of your energy from Morgan because you're going to need all of your energy for this next journey. I want you to withdraw all of the energy that you have from Morgan's body and from Morgan's aura. Withdraw it all into a tight ball, and you'll find it somewhere in your chest. So let me know when you can find that ball of energy in your chest.
Clear.
All right, so now inside that ball of energy exists your life force, and I can feel it now. It feels dull. It feels exactly what you're saying, exhausted. But we're going to help pump that up so that you can get a little bit of strength for this next part, okay? So I just
Okay.
want you to focus on your breathing with me. We're going to breathe in and out, in and out, in and out. And as you're taking in energy from the environment around you, we're letting that fan this little spark inside this ball of energy, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. I can feel it gaining in power there. Feels a lot better. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call in someone from your spiritual team to help you escort you to the next place so you don't have to do anything but just go with them, okay? So I'm going to call in, I'm feeling like it's an Archangel Michael. I'm calling in Archangel Michael to come and escort this poor, tired soul to a place where she can really rest and rejuvenate. She's been working really hard and kind of got stuck here. We'd like to bring her to the next realm so that she can come back from an empowered state. So, Morgan, I just want you to watch with Andy behind your shield and let me know what you see. What happens?
So she's laying kind of like lifeless,
Mm-hmm.
and she's picked up from the middle of her body and carried away graciously.
So I want you to take a deep breath. So we're going to ask Andy to Scan Morgan's body for any other errant energies or entities that we can address today. And Andy, as you do that scan, just let me know what comes up we can address today.
Um, on the left side again,
Mm-hmm.
like diagonal from my ear to the back.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a boy.
So we're going to do that same thing again. We're going to ask Andy for his help to pull that little boy out of your energy, out of your aura, put him right in front of you, and give him a comfortable like bean bag to sit on or something like that a kid would like. I'm feeling like he's really anxious and like shaking, so I'm just going to send some calming, loving energy towards this kid. And then we're going to talk to him. So first, why don't you introduce yourself? What's your name?
Jacob,
Hi, Jacob. What happened?
he doesn't know.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there anything that you can remember from your life?
He's holding like a stuffed animal,
Yeah,
and he's just looking up at his parents,
yeah.
and they're really happy.
Hmm. So Jacob, I can think of at least 100 places that would be way more fun than hanging out between Morgan's ear and her back. So many more fun things that we can do. So tell me, what is the most fun place you can think of? Where would you like to go?
A water slide.
I love that. How about a water park with lots of free candy and funnel cakes and chicken wings and water slides and other kids to play with? How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I want you to use your imagination and we're going to start building that with me. Okay. So first we'll start with the slide. So how big is the slide?
Mm, like medium.
Medium size. I like that. And how many circles, how many like spins does it do?
It's just not straight down, but it has like a curve to
Perfect. And what color is it?
it. Yeah.
Blue. Okay, perfect. And when you slide down the slide, you slide into what?
Water that catches me safely.
Perfect. Water. And now we're going to add some kids. So how many kids do you want to add at the first?
A whole bunch.
Okay, so go ahead and start adding kids. Kids with big curly hair, kids with straight hair, kids with red shorts, kids with blue bikinis. Add as many friends as you want and let them start playing on the slide. And now the most important thing to have at a water park is a bathroom, Jacob. You got to have a bathroom. So go ahead and make a bathroom with toilet seats that you can reach and sinks for you that you can reach to wash your hands and little mirrors. And then we're going to add in different little food carts. So there'll be like a popsicle food cart, French fry food cart, chicken fingers, whatever you want. You getting the hang of it? It's easy, right? You can build worlds like this. So now I want you to take this whole world, the whole thing that we just built, and I want you to put it somewhere safe. And then when you're ready, You can go enjoy it, but put it somewhere safe and then go ahead and let yourself float into this world that you created. And whenever you're done playing and having fun with your friends, we're going to set it up so that your mom will come and get you and take you to the next place, okay? But you deserve to have some fun after hanging out here for a while, okay? So Morgan, just watch him and make sure that he goes into this world that he created. And let me know when he's gone.
Okay, he's there.
Okay, beautiful. So I want you to just take that world and just, we'll let Andy just send it wherever it needs to go.
Okay.
Okay, beautiful. And then Andy, if you can continue with the scan and let me know if there's anything else that we need to address today.
No.
Okay, cool. So I want you to just take some cleansing energy and just sweep through her aura a couple times to clear it out and give her the space to feel those empty spots that we cleaned out with her energy so she can feel whole again. And while you do that, she really wants to know why she struggled her whole life pretty much with her weight. What's going on there?
The only thing I'm getting is confidence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially since it started at such a young age, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like confidence is one of the lessons of this life that you're working on, you know?
Yeah.
And the spiritual meaning of putting on weight is protection. You just feel like you need protection between you and the outside world. So you have this literal barrier around you, you know?
Yeah.
And so the more that you kind of show up for your own power and show up for yourself, that weight's going to drop off. And
Okay.
it's super easy. And then next question is staying motivated. So what is it that keeps her from feeling motivated to do things?
Doubt.
Say that again.
Doubt.
Ah. So if she doubts that things are going to go well, then she can't really be motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what do you think? What's your advice on how she can kind of work with this doubt and transform it into confidence?
Um, get into a community of like-minded people.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. She also wanted to know who are the people in her life now that are part of her soul family or that she has karmic bonds with besides her mother.
Natasha,
Mm-hmm.
Trevor,
Mm-hmm.
Kaya,
Mm-hmm.
Tina,
Mm-hmm.
Angelica.
And are any of those karmic and not soulmates?
No.
Okay, cool. That's very good to know. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to close out the session, but before we do, we're going to invite Andy to make any last comments or messages that he has for you before we go. Does he say anything?
He says I can always reach him.
One more time?
He says I can always reach him.
Okay. Especially now that you have his name, it'll make it a lot easier. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, beautiful. So we're going to say our goodbyes to both Andy and Kim, thanking both of them for taking the time to meet with us, connect with us, and share their wisdom and their guidance and their love. Really appreciate that. And now I want you to drift away from the scene completely, just like before, into the darkness. And just close out that scene, the memory, and the 3 lives that we saw today. Just close them all up, disconnect your energy completely. And in a minute, I'm going to count you back to full waking consciousness. I'm going to count now. You can just follow me back up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And stretch, open your eyes. Welcome back. You did such a beautiful job.
Oh my gosh.
I know it was a lot. So take a minute to just.
Yeah. My eyes are like, my